Hi everyone. In this short video I'd just like to look back at the email we discussed in our last session when we explored the way in which the writer had used different language devices to achieve different effects. When you have the PDF version of this email, you'll be able to hover over the highlighted sections, and when you hover over those sections you'll see that there'll be a little pop-up note that will explain, it will give a name to the language device and explain how it works. For example, if we click here, we'll see we've got an example of an imperative verb, check to see if they have a website. We have another example here, try to avoid. And so that form of the verb is used when giving instructions, so there's an attempt there to engage the reader to make them feel addressed in a direct way. Just go up the page, we'll see we've got an example of alliteration. That's the use of repetition of particular initial letters like F, fundraising through fun-filled fitness. Highlight, the use of the word highlight there is an example of an emotive word. The writer is trying to emphasize the positive aspects of the fundraising event and trying to convey his enthusiasm and to motivate his employee. We talked a little bit about the phrase on track and how that's an example of a pun, which is a play on words. So that's kind of a slight element of light humour there in the email, just to lighten the tone a little bit. We've been doing a fair bit of work on idioms, haven't we? And we saw an example there of an idiom, money spinner. And then as we move down the page, we'll see other examples of what's called direct address. You must ensure, you will need. So these are examples of where the writer was, again, using a form of the verb that addresses the reader in a direct way with a view to gaining their attention and involving them in the ideas in the text. This is an example of a rhetorical question. We don't want to fine for illegal training, do we? And then right at the bottom of the page we have another example of emotive language, that reference to the children and the doctors and the nurses who are keen to help them. The use of emotive language is designed to engage the feelings and the emotions of the reader here, to engage a sympathetic response from the reader. So that's a quick look back at some of the common language devices we've been exploring in recent weeks, and we'll come back to these next week when we look at another kind of text. I hope that's been useful.